And once again, I am back with you. And we say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of the Conscious Roster Report here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and on livinginblack.com. My name is Keity Owado, aka the Conscious Roster. Weekday mornings, you and I get here live. We come at you from 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12 noon Eastern time, 5 p.m. GMT, and 8 p.m. East Africa time. We get together with you and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspective, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Monday. It is the 18th day of August, 2025 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6265, 6266 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we've realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, here on livinginblack.com. What a joy. What a joy, what a joy it is to be with you today. And I am very, very happy to be in your presence once again. It's been a powerful week here on LIB Radio. Still, we are on a mission. We are on a serious mission, and I ask that you join the mission. The mission is repatriation. I have concluded, and I am not the only one, by far, I am not the only one that has concluded that our fate in America is too risky at this point. Too risky to be trusted in the hands of the current administration and his irrationality and his unpredictability. This past week, Donald Trump sent in the military to the nation's capital. And the military presence in the nation's capital is very provocative, obviously. And now, because no one stepped up to stop him, he's now proposing taking the military into other cities. It looks like Chicago will be next on the list. Los Angeles was last year, or it was earlier this year, I'm sorry. Donald Trump took the military into Los Angeles. And they're still there. So at this particular point, I'm reading the writing on the wall, and I say we must prepare to get out. Now, that's not even today's topic. But I will say this much in regarding today's topic, is that being in America, consuming American food, taking American medicine, being susceptible to all of the chemical toxins that pollute America, being in America is very, very risky to your health and to my health. So that's our focus for today. Let's look at the topic. The topic is a functional medicine approach to peripheral neuropathy. Peripheral neuropathy. Today on LIB Radio, we go deep into this common ailment that affects many older people. It is believed that 20 to 30% of the U.S. population is believed to affect 20 to 30% of U.S. population, and it is particularly a problem for older people. It's particularly a problem for older people. It is reported that as many, I should say, as 24% of those aged 70 and older endure the condition. Functional medicine, unlike its conventional counterpart, seeks to prevent the disorder or prevent its worsening. Our approach is strictly non pharmaceutical, no drugs. It's based on nutrition and with minimal to no side effects. That's today's topic: peripheral neuropathy and a functional medicine approach to peripheral neuropathy. Let's get into some background here. When we're looking at the prevalence of this disorder, this disease across the American population, estimates of the number of Americans experiencing peripheral neuropathy vary, ranging from at least 20 million people, to some estimates put it as high as 30 million people in the U.S., with a discrepancy attributed to the high number of undiagnosed cases. This condition is a general term for damage to nerves outside of the brain and spinal cord, affecting approximately 20 million diagnosed cases in the U.S. Peripheral neuropathy does affect older patients more significantly. It is estimated to affect between 8% and 10% of people over the age of 50. And this risk increases further with age, with approximately 24% of the population over age 70 affected. While not a direct result of aging, older adults are at increased risk because they are more likely to develop the underlying conditions or diseases contributing to peripheral neuropathy, such as diabetes, cancer, shingles, autoimmune diseases, or injury. These can all lead to neuropathic pain, and that is peripheral, well, in this case, we're talking about peripheral neuropathy. Now, let's talk specifically about a particular type, and that's idiopathic functional medicine approach to neuropathy. Idiopathic is the key word. Idiopathic. Idiopathic peripheral neuropathy refers to nerve damage without an identifiable cause. No injury, no diabetes, no cancer. Despite thorough medical evaluation. Approximately 30 to 40% of peripheral neuropathy cases are classified as idiopathic of unknown cause, meaning current diagnostic methods cannot pinpoint the underlying origin. 30 to 40%, that's nearly half, or a third to half. While every disease has a cause, limitations in medical science often prevent its discovery, leading to this classification. The functional medicine approach focuses on identifying root causes through comprehensive testing and personalized treatment plans, which may include assessing for environmental toxins, nutritional deficiencies, autoimmune activity, and metabolic imbalances. Some patients report symptom improvement using supplements, such as alpha lipoic acid, which has been noted to reduce neuropathic symptoms like constant pinpricks and burning sensations. Alternative treatments, such as cannabidiol, CBD, have gained attention for managing neuropathic pain. Although the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has not approved CBD for neuropathy, some clinical observations suggest it may offer temporary relief with fewer side effects than medications like gabapentin or pregabalin, I should say. Relief with fewer side effects than medications is no doubt. Patients report Patient reports indicate benefits in pain reduction and sleep quality with CBD oil or topical applications containing cannabidiol, sometimes combined with capsaicin, which is the key element in cayenne pepper, and arnica. Despite these options, there is currently no known cure for idiopathic peripheral neuropathy, and treatments aim primarily at symptom management and slowing progression. Research continues into potential causes, including post-viral mechanisms such as reactions following vaccinations, though definitive links remain under investigation. Patients are encouraged to work closely with healthcare providers before starting any new therapy, especially with unregulated domain like CBD products. So that's where we are. That's an overview of the broader subject of peripheral neuropathy. It affects a lot of people. We have to understand that. As many as 30 million of the general population, and among people over the age or reaching the age of 70 and older affects some 24%. I'm going to take you to a short piece of video I have here. The video is about 10 minutes long, but I'm just going to play the last little section of the video as it talks about the name of the video, 7 foods to improve nerve pain and 5 to avoid if you have neuropathic pain. So that's the key. We want to find out which foods to avoid. We'll talk about plenty of foods, more than 7, that will improve your neuropathic condition. But I do want to focus right now on those 5 foods that are to be avoided. So let's go right into that particular video. And this is Dr. Andrea Furlan. So I do recommend you look her up on YouTube at Dr. Andrea Furlan and do bookmark Dr. Furlan. Let's go. Let's see what she has to say.
Thumbs up here, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you have neuropathic pain, I recommend you to watch my video about alcohol and pain. Alcohol can cause 6 other nerve pains worse. So the second thing is lithium sodium. Salt is very dangerous, and if you're this of all the foods you eat every day, I highly recommend you to eat. Avoid food high in sugar. They can decompensate diabetes, and that's the most frequent cause of peripheral neuropathy. So avoid sugar, ice creams, snacks, desserts, and processed foods. Avoid pops and artificial juices. Avoid candies, donuts, cakes, and pies. And I have to tell you this, avoid chocolate. I wish I had something nicer to tell you. Yes, I love chocolate too. The fourth thing you need to avoid is unhealthy fats. Avoid any deep fried stuff and red meat with that big fat around it. Eggs are permitted, but avoid fried eggs. Fifth and last, avoid too much caffeine. Caffeine stimulates the sympathetic nerve system, causes tremors, irritability, it can aggravate nerve pain. Check your pain medications. Some of them already contain caffeine. Well, send this video to your friends who have neuropathic pain. There is a share button here. And here are other videos from my channel that you can watch.
All right, so let's come back, and those 5 foods that she said to avoid, very important. Avoid excess salt. Most people in America, especially if you are eating processed food, you are getting too much salt. So avoid excess salt. Very important. Secondly, the doctor said avoid sugar. Very important point. Avoid sugar. Sugar is everywhere. You say, oh, I have a sweet tooth. I've never been able to locate or see a sweet tooth before. Personally, I think that the people making that statement are sugar addicted. So avoid eating too much sugar. Now, she did say avoid chocolate. I think she intended to say avoid commercialized chocolate, milk chocolate to be specific, because milk chocolate has 2 components in it that I avoid, while dark chocolate, which is at least 85% chocolate and nothing else, dark chocolate does not have these ingredients in it. And the 2 ingredients in milk chocolate, obviously milk and excess sugar. There will be a little bit of sugar in dark chocolate, but not enough to antagonize your body, and especially not enough to undo the benefits of chocolate, because chocolate does have very significant benefits that you do need to incorporate into your body. I want to say greetings. I see my sister 4, Africa 1, is in the house. What a joy it is to see you with us today. 4 Africa 1, Hotep Brother Kitty, and Global LIB family, she says. And thank you for weighing in. She is always, always there to be a friend to me and to everyone else. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's keep going. We are, she also did mention to avoid unhealthy fats. And she did specifically point out fried eggs. Now, personally, I avoid all eggs. I am strictly vegan. I avoid all eggs. Why? Because eggs are contaminated with all kind of bacteria, listeria, salmonella, bacillus. There are all kind of bacteria. Chicken itself is contaminated with bacteria, feces, fecal bacteria, E. coli, etc., etc. So I don't mess around with nothing coming from the interior to the exterior of a chicken. Chicken only has one exit hole, that the cloaca, from which the eggs come out, but the poop comes out, the urine comes out. Chickens, in my book, are very nasty creatures. I grew up around chickens. My brothers actually worked at a chicken farm. And when they would come home from a chicken farm, there would be 2 layers of smell they'd have to get off of them. They'd have to clean up and change their clothes even before coming into the house and going into the bathroom. It was that bad. Chicken, oh, they're horrible. And lastly, doctor says avoid excess caffeine, and I definitely do agree. Excess caffeine is a neurostimulant. So if we're talking about calming the neurological activity, we don't want to put in neural stimulants into the mix. Next, let's go into what patients should know about CBD, cannabidiol, for peripheral neuropathy. This article is written by Ezekiel Lim from FAP News Today, October 13, 2019. So this is a little bit older article. I tend to like to have newer articles because the research constantly is updated, but many times we just have to get the best that we can get access to and go with that. And this article is, once again, I mentioned it, it is entitled What Patients Should Know About CBD for Peripheral Neuropathy. The pain associated with peripheral neuropathy symptoms makes everyday life difficult for patients. And the medication needed to treat the underlying physical symptoms of familial amyloid neuropathy can prove too costly for those on a limited budget. Now, I want to stop in for a second. Earlier, we talked about some of the triggers for peripheral neuropathies did include vaccinations. That's in the literature. You can find that easily. Does include vaccinations. Now, in this particular case, we see this statement as the medication needed to treat the underlying physical symptoms of familial amyloid polyneuropathy. Familial amyloid polyneuropathy. That word amyloid brings us into the class of mRNAs because our discovery, amongst all of our research on the jabs associated with COVID, all of our research uncovered the link to a rise in peripheral neuropathy. We covered that in an extensive report we did here less than a month ago. It was probably about 2 weeks ago. So I want you to go through our archives at rumble.com and I want you to look for that link to the story on the link between the mRNAs and amyloidosis. Amyloidosis is a very, very disturbing problematic, troublesome disorder. Amyloidosis is related to neurological pathologies such as Alzheimer's disease. Amyloidosis is related to other neurological pathologies, but it's also amyloids have been found in the heart, the lungs, other different organs. Amyloidosis is very, very problematic. I cannot insist. So you need to know that research and what you can do to avoid amyloidosis. Going forward, alternative methods for managing neuropathic pain are available. Cannabidiol, CBD, is an emerging alternative treatment that allegedly has significant pain-reducing qualities. Now, from what I researched, CBD may or may not be recommended to a person with amyloidosis, but from my understanding, the amyloids are caused by dyslipidosis. And because of the dyslipidosis, the CBD, which is part of your endocannabidiol system, will not have anything to do with dyslipidosis. Dyslipidosis is essentially a nutritionally caused disorder and or disease. Very important to understand. I would not, unless given further information, I would not prescribe, I don't prescribe, I would not suggest you use cannabidiol if you are dealing with any of the amyloidosis related disorders and or diseases, including Alzheimer's disease, or amyloidosis can affect the heart, etc., etc. So what is CBD? Cannabidiol, CBD, is one of the most abundant compounds in the marijuana plant, cannabis, hemp. CBD products come primarily in the form of oils, topical ointments, and infused food items. However, with the exception of one prescription product to treat rare forms of epilepsy, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has not approved any other CBD products. I want to make this point. When we're talking about CBD products to treat epilepsy, we have to understand they're being used to control seizures. Obviously, epilepsy, seizures, used to control seizures. In my research for a client dealing with alcoholism and withdrawal from alcoholism, the problem of alcohol withdrawal seizures was problematic. So I suggested to that client that they look into CBD oil. Specifically, there's a type of CBD oil which I can't think of right now. It is in the record. We did this show just a couple of weeks ago. There is a type of CBD oil with very, very low THC content. So the CBD oil, you get the benefits from the CBD oil, but you do not get high. It does not disrupt your mental state. That's very important. So it says, recent clinical research, including a study by researchers at Scotland University of Glasgow, looks at CBD's effects on anxiety, movement, and pain. The study found that a, quote, meaningful proportion, unquote, of patients exhibited improvements in sleep quality and pain when administered CBD. Is CBD for real? The question asks. CBD's impact could be a placebo effect, though the results of the study at the University of Glasgow appears to show otherwise. The emergence of clinical studies supporting CBD pain relieving qualities and a surge in CBD-based retail stores may offer peripheral neuropathy patients a solution for foot pain. The plausibility of CBD being a reliable treatment may be subjective. Many peripheral neuropathy patients, including the author's mother-in-law, find THC products are a suitable method for alleviating neuropathic pain. Now, THC products versus CBD products, there is a difference. THC's alleged calming effects may benefit patients with chronic tingling and numb and burning sensations of the feet, but these effects may not necessarily be true for everyone with peripheral neuropathy symptoms. Not every patient with polyneuropathy will be quick to adapt to CBD, cannabidiol, as a solution for pain. The author's mother-in-law struggles with the side effects of gabapentin, drowsiness, dizziness, and fatigue. Gabapentin, which is currently used to calm the nerves. This has led her to use prescribed marijuana. Her medical marijuana use has helped alleviate the pain, burning, and tingling in her limbs. Ultimately, cannabidiol may provide temporary relief from pain with potentially fewer side effects than medications such as gabapentin. Functional medicine and peripheral neuropathy. Let's go deeper. And I welcome your comments to the program today. I did put up the link to the other article that was on, and I'm going to put up a couple more links to that same thing, to the same article. And this is here, what patients need to know about CBD for peripheral neuropathy. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm going to put this up here. Bear with me. This is well worth waiting for. And I do also say to our listening audience, please do go to my Facebook page where you're going to see many of these links have been put up for the program. I'll put them up, and hit the like button while you're there. Please do. Need to get this word out much further and build a bigger support network for LIB Radio. Right now, the support network for LIB Radio is rather thin. You've heard me talk about it quite a bit recently, especially as we have been engaging in this month-long Black August emergency fund drive. So you know what emergency means. Yeah, it is like that. So we're going to keep going forward. We're going to keep doing the best we can. And one day we may have to stop and shut down But I can say this much. We are on a roll. We are on to something very, very good. I hope you do agree. Let's keep going. We're asking functional medicine and peripheral neuropathy. Functional medicine offers a proactive approach to peripheral neuropathy by addressing the root causes of the condition, moving beyond traditional symptom management, gabapentin. Peripheral neuropathy involves damage to nerves outside the brain and spinal cord, often causing tingling, numbness, and burning pain in the hands, feet, and legs. Functional medicine practitioners utilize various strategies to improve nerve function and health. One approach is red light therapy, also known as low-level laser therapy, which uses light to penetrate the skin and promote cellular healing. Research suggests it can improve symptoms by increasing blood flow and reducing inflammation. Nitric oxide enhancement is another strategy, aiming to improve blood flow and oxygen delivery to tissues by boosting nitric oxide production through dietary changes, such as consuming nitrate-rich foods like beets and leafy greens, or using supplements. Intravenous therapy, IV therapy, delivers essential nutrients directly into the bloodstream, allowing for rapid and complete absorption. This method is particularly beneficial for patients with nutrient deficiencies or poor absorption, and may include B vitamins, magnesium, and alpha lipoic acid to support nerve health. Electronic stimulation therapies, such as transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation, TENS, TENS, and percutaneous electrical nerve stimulation, PENS, use electrical impulses to stimulate nerves and have been shown to reduce pain and improve nerve function. Additional functional medicine strategies include targeted lifestyle modification, which is, of course, the strategies that I particularly suggest, such as aerobic exercise and diet changes that promote weight loss. Now, I've got to say, because I have been dealing with peripheral neuropathy for a year or two. A year or two. Now, mine is not bad. Doesn't seem to be progressing. I've arrested it. But, hey, the reality is that's my issue, peripheral neuropathy. So additional lifestyle medication strategies, targeted lifestyle modifications include aerobic exercise. Yes, did today, and I do it every day. My 1.3 miles of HIIT, 20 minutes of high impact interval training, and diet changes that promote weight loss. Well, I'm proud to say, which I have now since the end of my last fast, which is over a month ago, I am about 4 or 5 pounds lighter than what I would normally be this far into the next season. So I did do dietary changes that did promote weight loss, and it's maintaining very, very well. Since yesterday, I weigh myself every day. Since yesterday, my weight went down 0.1 pounds. Now, that's not a lot. 0.1 pounds, well, it's not going up. So additional functional medicine strategies that include targeted lifestyle modifications like aerobic exercise and diet changes that promote weight loss, which may improve the course of diabetic painful neuropathy and potentially other forms of neuropathy. Now, I have no reason to suspect or believe that I am dealing with diabetes at all. I did notice that my blood pressure had wonderfully normalized. I'm talking 118 was the lowest in the latest series that I did. 118 was the systolic, and the diastolic was, I think, about 70, maybe 68. That is very, very good. So supplements such as Metabolic Synergy, Hepatone Plus, Metal X Synergy, Carditone, Right, WRIGHT salt, and vitamin D have been recommended in integrative approaches to support nerve function and address underlying factors like toxicity or nutrient deficiencies. These treatments, of which the ones mentioned were almost all proprietary formulas except for vitamin D, these treatments are often combined with non-invasive, drug-free technologies to open healing pathways and diminish or eliminate symptoms. Eliminating symptoms. Earlier, I was reading from AI, scouring the net, and bringing this message that said peripheral neuropathy had no permanent solution or cure. Well, this says diminish or eliminate symptoms. That sounds like it's close to a cure that I would need. Isn't that true? Nitric oxide and neuropathy. Nitric oxide plays a complex and significant role in peripheral neuropathy, influencing both its development and potential treatment. It is a crucial signaling molecule involved in vasodilation, which enhances blood flow, oxygen delivery, and nutrient supply. Bear with me. And enhances, bear with me. I wanted to just take a paragraph. And enhances nutrient supply to peripheral nerves. Let me read that sentence again. We're talking about nitric oxide plays a complex and significant role in peripheral neuropathy, influencing both its development and potential treatment. It is a crucial signaling molecule involved in vasodilation, opening up your arteries, vessels. It does enhance the blood flow, oxygen delivery, and nutrient supply to peripheral nerves, all of which are essential for nerve health and function. So getting those blood vessels open, nitric oxide is this particular strategy. A deficiency in nitric oxide is linked to reduced blood flow, contributing to the symptoms of peripheral neuropathy. This deficiency can be exacerbated by conditions like diabetes, where nitric oxide metabolism is negatively impacted, and levels of this molecule decline significantly with age, particularly after age 65. So get your nitric oxide levels up. Among many different ways to do so, we did talk about this last week. It was a very important conversation we had, but part of it is just breathe through your nose. Nose breathing increases the ratio of nitric oxide inside your blood vessels. Nose breathing. That's kind of simple, isn't it? Research suggests that nitric oxide is vital for maintaining normal peripheral nerve function and small sensory nerve fiber innervation. However, its role is not solely protective. In inflammatory neuropathies and neuropathic pain, nitric oxide can act as a mediator of nerve injury, particularly through the formation of peroxynitrate, a potent oxidant. Now, our strategies are antioxidants, so peroxynitrate is, of course, an antagonist to our intention. Studies indicate that sensory neurons are primary targets of nitric oxide mediated cytotoxicity, cell toxicity, leading to axonal injury and subsequent myelin degradation, a process known as the Wallerian-like degeneration. This dual nature means that while adequate nitric oxide is necessary for nerve health, excessive or dysregulated levels, especially under conditions of oxidative stress, can contribute to nerve damage and pain. So that's the dual nature of this. You got to balance it out, homeostasis. I welcome your comments, listening audience. I hope you are in the house today. Checking on YouTube, we want to make sure you are satisfied that you are in the house, that you feel yourself to be an active participant with us today. We appreciate you participating, and we're going to do the best we can not to be kicked off the way YouTube kicked off my primary channel. Was open for over 16 years, had 2,000 videos on it, and because of the conflict with the U.S. National Institutes of Health, we got thrown out, called misinformation, while almost everything they criticized us for on that YouTube channel has now been acknowledged by Congress to have been real. But an apology, restoration from YouTube, it's not going to happen. The relationship between nitric oxide and diabetic peripheral neuropathy, DPN, is particularly important, as DPN, diabetic peripheral neuropathy, is a common complication affecting nearly 70% of people with diabetes within 5 years. In diabetes, oxidative stress can cause the enzyme nitric oxide synthase, it is an enzyme, to become uncoupled, transforming it from a nitric oxide producer into a generator of superoxide, which further increases oxidative stress and creates a vicious cycle of nerve damage. This uncoupling is a key mechanism in the pathogenesis of DPN. Now that kind of lets me know that I need to look at this uncoupling of DPN, uncoupling of nitric oxide. And I just want to take just a second here, use the word, tell me about the uncoupling. What is, here we are, I got a search engine open. Describe the uncoupling of nitric oxide that can lead to nerve damage in demyelinating disease. Describe it in 300 words. So there is my instruction to the conversation. That's going to take about 30 seconds and to find everything that I was looking for. Given this complex role, therapeutic strategies focus on increasing nitric oxide levels to improve circulation and nerve health, while also managing oxidative stress. Approaches include dietary changes such as consuming nitric oxide boosting foods like beets, spinach, and arugula, and using high quality supplements designed to promote stable nitric oxide levels. Some research explores transdermal nitric oxide as a potential therapy for the pathogenesis of dysregulated peripheral neuropathy and not dysregulated, diabetic peripheral neuropathy and diabetic foot ulcers, aiming to address the underlying pathology of poor blood flow. And you know, those foot ulcers are a significant reason for many diabetic patients, if the diabetes is not controlled, to have their peripheral organs or their peripherals amputated. You see some diabetics getting amputated legs, amputated feet. That is really a problem. Furthermore, photobiomodulation therapy combined with nitrogen oxide management has shown promise in improving symptoms. It is also crucial to consider other causes of peripheral neuropathy, such as a misuse of nitric oxide in 2O, which can lead to vitamin B12 deficiency and cause peripheral neuropathy, requiring discontinuation of exposure and treatment of the deficiency. So that's very, very critical. I asked AI to describe the uncoupling of nitric oxide that can lead to nerve damage in demyelinating diseases. Describe it in 300 words. Here's what it reported back. Under normal conditions, nitric oxide synthases, NOS synthases, generate no nitric oxide by transferring electrons from NADPH through their reductase domain into the oxygenase domain, whereas L-arginine is converted into nitric oxide and I-citrulline. In this coupled state, the essential cofactor tetrahydrobiopterin, heterobiopterin, BH4, stabilizes the oxygenase domain, ensuring electron flow produces nitrogen oxide rather than reactive oxygen species. When BH4 becomes oxidized or depleted due to inflammation, oxidative stress, or deficient biosynthesis, nitrogen oxide synthase becomes uncoupled, quote unquote. In this state, electrons leak directly to molecular oxygen, producing superoxide instead of NO, nitric oxide, superoxide, O2. Superoxide reacts with any remaining nitric oxide to form peroxynitrate, a potent oxidant that nitrates proteins, lipids, and DNA. Now that could be linked to amyloidosis. That sounds like the creation of the amyloidosis. In demyelinating diseases, such as multiple sclerosis, microglia, and infiltrating immune cells express high levels of inducible nitrogen oxide synthase, flooding nerve tissues with nitric oxide and reactive oxygen species. This is a little difficult. We're going to get through it. Almost there. Simultaneously, oxidative stress depletes BH4, triggering uncoupling of endothelial and neuronal nitrogen oxygen synthase. The resulting surge in peroxynitrate and hydrogen peroxide damages oligodendrocytes and myelin sheaths. Now that's the beginning of serious serious neurological disease, damaging of the myelin sheaths. That's the coating, like equivalent to the rubber outside of an electrical cord. Well, if that rubber gets damaged or cut away, then your cord's going to short out. And that's beginning of demyelinating diseases. Nitrogen nitration of myelin basic protein disrupts sheath integrity, while mitochondrial injury within axons leads to energy failure and axonal degeneration. Moreover, uncoupled ENOS undermines blood-brain barrier integrity, facilitating further immune infiltration and perpetuating a cycle of inflammation and oxidative injury. Loss of nitrogen oxide's normal vasodilatory and neuroprotective signaling exacerbates ischemia and demyelination. Ischemia is inadequate blood supply, and demyelination is degradation of those nerves. That's very important. Therapeutically, restoring nitrogen oxide synthase, restoring NOS coupling by replenishing BH4, scavenging peroxynitrate, or modulating nitrogen oxide stimulating expression, holds synthase expression. Excuse me, bear with me. It's these initials they're using a lot of, and I'm trying to remember what the originals are. Or modulating nitrogen oxide synthase expression holds promise. Agents such as BH4 analogs, sepiapterin, or antioxidants, as example given N-acetylcysteine, can reestablish balanced nitrogen oxide production, reduce reactive oxygen species mediated myelin injury, and support remyelination strategies, meaning rebuild that coating around your nerves, highlighting the critical role of nitrogen oxide synthase coupling in preserving nerve health. Now, what did all that say? Let me reduce that down to simplicity. It is absolutely critical that we manage this appropriately. The reactive oxygen species is an inflammatory condition which injures the myelin sheath of our nerves and contributes to many pathologies, including some very, very serious ones. The key about it is managing all this, restoring the enzyme levels by replenishing the BH4 and modulating the nitrogen oxide synthase expression holds promise. So it does mention sepiapterin, which is a drug, pharmaceutical drug, or antioxidants. I recommend antioxidants, and it does talk about N-acetylcysteine is an antioxidant that can reestablish balanced nitrogen oxide production. That's the key. Balance nitrogen oxide production. So that was a whole lot to say. And it was a little bit complicated, but let's keep going. Help for peripheral neuropathy is available. This written by Dr. John Detmer, DC, from Spinal Care Physical Medicine. That's the journal, January 2018. So the article again is a few years older. And I'm going to put up the link to this article. Hopefully you will read it, and hopefully you will find it very useful in all of this. For Africa, when I see you in the house, you have not mentioned it yet, but I presume smoking and alcohol would be contributing factors to peripheral neuropathy. I would imagine yes, but it has not been mentioned anywhere in the information that I have found for today. Now, that is probably to say available. Sorry about that. One sec. Got to get this link in. because it was dropping the available / and I'm pushing up the link to this next article I'm going to be sharing with you. And furthermore, she said, oh, yeah. So what I'm saying is it was not mentioned specifically in any of the research that I pulled for today yet. However, you and I know, and everyone who listens to this show knows that tobacco and alcohol are two substances that I say should be avoided by every means necessary. That includes cigars, that includes vaping, and that includes red wine and every other source of alcohol. I am zero tolerant on alcohol. Others do drink, and I'm sorry, I got a hair in my eye. Others do drink alcohol, but I don't. I completely avoid it. So, good point you make. Brother Ed L. Mack is in the house. Greetings, Brother Keedy. I know Deion Sanders had trouble with turf toe in his career playing football. Do you know what might have caused him losing digits? Yeah, I think I do recall that he did have some toes or something cut off. Turf toe. I don't know much about it, but I would imagine it could very well likely have been the injuries which are known as causative of this. And let me see if I can find that. Deion Sanders, DeionSanders, and turf toe, and put that in quotes. Turf toe and amputation. Let me see if I can find something on that real quickly. Deion Sanders and turf toe and amputation. Deion Sanders' injury with turf toe has been marked by significant health challenges leading to an amputation of 2 toes on his left foot. The condition, known for causing dislocation and swelling, has resulted in a life-threatening situation for Sanders. His doctors initially considered amputating his left leg below the knee to save his life, but ultimately Sanders chose to amputate his toes to prevent further complications and ensure his survival. The amputation was a critical decision made during a month-long hospital stay and multiple surgeries, highlighting the severity of the blood clotting issue that Sanders faced. So, turf toe, blood clotting, thrombosis. We do know there's a connection there. It probably could have been a result. Thrombosis, we do know, results from blood clotting, which would be a combination of too much Western foods, too much steak, fats, triglycerides, and the blood clotting, the same blood clotting that might lead to pulmonary or cerebral embolism, could very well likely have caused his turf toe, which I know that it does happen like that because blood clotting was actually a factor in my grandfather's death. The blood clot formed in his leg and caused, therefore, the leg to be needed to have been amputated. It wasn't, and my grandfather died of blood poisoning because it wasn't amputated. It's a whole long story. I don't want to tell that story right now. But Deion Sanders, hopefully, he did make the right decision. And that story goes on. There's more to it in case anybody wants to know more about it. And let's continue on. Good question. Thanks for that. And the injury most likely came from his football injury, But remember, Bob Marley had a soccer injury to his toe, and that caused, allegedly caused cancer. So we have to take these injuries very seriously. If you are an athlete, obviously you have and if you are an NFL athlete, you have a good medical support system around you. But those of us who don't have a medical system surrounding us, we need to do the best that we can to stay as healthy as we possibly can. I'm going to go back to my research. We're not too far away from being, no, we're about halfway through. Help for Peripheral Neuropathy is available by John Detmer. 20 million people in the U.S. suffer from neuropathy, a disease that causes damage to the peripheral nervous system, the vast communications networks that transmits information from the brain and the spinal cord to the central nervous system and to every other part of the body. Peripheral neuropathy is a condition in which the nerves that are outside of the central nervous system become injured or damaged. This includes nerves in the legs, feet, arms, hands, and shoulders. Peripheral nerves send sensory information to the brain and spinal cord, such as a message that a finger is burnt or your feet are cold. Damage to the peripheral nerve system interferes with these connections. Like static on a television, peripheral neuropathy distorts and may interrupt messages between the brain and the rest of the body. Because every peripheral nerve has a highly specialized function in a specific part of the body, the number of symptoms occur when nerves are damaged. Some people experience temporary numbness, tingling, or prickling sensations, and sensitivity to touch or muscle weakness. Others suffer more extreme symptoms, including burning pain, especially at night, muscle wasting, paralysis, and organ or gland dysfunction. The most common symptoms or signs of peripheral neuropathy are muscle weakness, muscle spasms, and cramping. Damage to the sensory portions of the nerve can produce numbness, tingling, shooting, or electric types of pain that occur in the arms and legs. Patients may also experience the sensation of wearing an invisible tight glove or sock, shock-like sensations, burning, or extreme sensitivity to touch. There are many different conditions that can cause pain. The key aspect in treating neuropathy is in the diagnosis of the injured or compressed nerve and in finding the true cause of the injury. Damage can occur from a number of different causes, which stem from direct trauma to the extremity, such as maybe in the case of Deion Sanders, or side effects of a system illness or chemical injury. Peripheral neuropathy usually begins with numbness, prickling or tingling in the toes or fingers. It may spread up to the feet or hands and cause burning, freezing, throbbing, and or shooting pain that is often worse at night. This pain can be either constant or periodic. It is usually felt equally on both sides of the body, in both hands or both feet. Some types of neuropathy develop suddenly, while others move more slowly over many years. There are many different conditions that can cause pain. The key aspect in treating neuropathy is in the diagnosis of the injured or compressed nerve and in finding the true cause of the injury. Damage can occur from a number of different causes which stem from direct trauma to the extremity, side effects of a systemic illness, or chemical injuries such as pharmaceutical drugs. Ordinary medicine does not have a cure for peripheral neuropathy, but there is help in several forms. Boosting the body's levels of a single molecule, nitric oxide, can help you prevent, control, or even reverse cardiovascular disease and peripheral neuropathy. Nitric oxide is one of the most important signaling molecules in our body. It optimizes circulation and is involved in virtually every organic system in our body. More blood flow means better brain function and better attention, better oxide transfer, and more energy. It even means a better sex life because nitric oxide is a key ingredient in many well-known erectile dysfunction products. Nitric oxide also has important properties in the immune system, where it helps us fight off infections and cancer cells, as well as in the nervous system, where it helps our brain cells communicate properly. Besides boosting NO in your system, one of the treatments offered at Spinal Care Physical Medicine for peripheral neuropathy is the use of light-emitting diodes, LED, or light therapy. Research shows that patients using this low-level light therapy have experienced decreases in local swelling, inflammation, muscle spasms, tightness, and tension. They also have an increased range of motion, lymphatic drainage, and venous dilation and flow. A study of 784 patients published in the Journal of Neurological and Orthopedic Surgeons demonstrated that 88% of those treated with light therapy had excellent to total pain relief after 12 treatments. The use of LEDs helps to increase circulation by increasing the formation of new capillaries. It increases the energy level in our cells, which stimulates the release of adenosine triphosphate, ATP, which is the major carrier of energy to all cells. And it reduces the excitability of the nervous tissues. Increasing the lymphatic system activity also helps reduce the swelling or natural splinting process of the body. The process behind using LEDs is simple and requires no downtime, no drugs, and no side effects. Stem cell therapy is emerging as a promising approach with functional medicine for treating neuropathy, a condition involving nerve damage that causes pain, numbness, and weakness. And here's how these three concepts intersect. Number one, stem cells and neuropathy. Stem cells, especially mesenchymal stem cells, MSCs, and induced pluripotent stem cells, iPSCs, are being studied for their ability to, number one, modulate inflammation, number two, promote nerve regeneration, three, enhance neurotrophic factor production, and four, restore Schwann cell function, critical for nerve insulation and repairing those demyelinated nerve sheaths. Clinical trials have focused on diabetic peripheral neuropathy, DPN, chemotherapy-induced neuropathy, CIPN, autoimmune-related neuropathies like CIDP and Guillain-Barré syndrome. Some studies even explore hematopoietic stem cell transplantation to reset immune system responses in autoimmune cases. Functional medicine approach. Functional medicine integrates stem cell therapy with one, personalized nutrition to reduce inflammation and support nerve health. Two, lifestyle interventions like sleep, stress management, and movement. Three, targeted supplementation. Examples given: B vitamins and alpha lipoic acid. And four, root cause analysis of metabolic, toxic, or autoimmune contributors to neuropathy. This holistic model aims not just to manage symptoms, but to restore full function and prevent progression. What do we know about the link between neuropathy and CIDP and Guillain-Barré syndrome? Guillain-Barré syndrome, GBS, and chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy, CIDP, are both autoimmune disorders that cause forms of peripheral neuropathy, a condition marked by nerve damage resulting in numbness, tingling, weakness, and sometimes pain. How are these linked to neuropathy? Guillain-Barré syndrome is an acute autoimmune neuropathy that typically follows a viral or bacterial infection, including is associated with vaccinations. It progresses rapidly, often within 4 weeks, and can lead to ascending paralysis, starting at the limbs and moving upward. Chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy, CIDP, is a chronic form of autoimmune neuropathy. It develops more slowly and over 8 weeks or longer and causes symmetrical motor and sensory dysfunction. Symmetrical meaning it's the same on the right, it's the same on the left. Often with relapsing or progressive symptoms. And 3, both conditions involve demyelination, where the immune system attacks the protective myelin sheath around peripheral nerves, disrupting nerve signaling and causing neuropathic symptoms. So it talks about shared features and differences. For GBS, the onset is rapid. For CIDP, the onset is gradual. For duration, for GBS, acute, short term. For CIDP, chronic and long term. The cause of GBS, often post-infection autoimmune, idiopathic treatment, IVIG, plasma exchange, whereas the cause for the CIDP is IVIG, corticosteroids, we're talking about chemotherapy, immune therapy, and it talks about neuropathy type. For GBS, demyelinating and axonal, and for CIDP, demyelinating. Both Guillain-Barré syndrome and chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy are treatable, and many patients recover partially or fully with appropriate therapies. However, early diagnosis is crucial to prevent long-term nerve damage and disability. Let's go further. What are treatment options for these conditions that are holistic and natural? Here's a holistic overview of natural and functional medicine approaches to treating Guillain-Barré syndrome, GBS, and chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy, CIDP, both autoimmune neuropathies that affect the peripheral nervous system. Number 1, nutritional therapy. Emphasizes anti-inflammatory foods, leafy greens, berries, turmeric with black pepper, ginger, and omega-3 rich sources like flax seeds and walnuts. 2, under nutritional therapy, avoid processed foods, refined sugars, and trans fats. We saw that earlier in the video. We listed 5 foods not to eat. That it definitely did include processed foods, refined sugars, and it said fried fats foods, and that's trans fats. And for nutritional therapy, 3, support nerve repair with B vitamins, vitamin D, magnesium, and alpha lipoic acid. And I do have my magnesium right here too, as well. Took mine this morning. Stress reduction. Chronic stress worsens autoimmune activity. Daily meditation, breath work, and gentle yoga can lower cortisol and support immune balance. Physical therapy. Customized movement plans help restore strength and coordination. Functional medicine emphasizes neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire and adapt through movement. Number 4, herbal support. Herbs like ashwagandha, lion's mane, and curcumin may support nerve regeneration and reduce inflammation. Always consult a practitioner before starting herbal products. That's good advice. Number 5, hydration and detox. Proper hydration supports cellular repair and detoxification. Functional medicine may include gentle detox protocols to reduce immune triggers. Root cause investigation. Functional medicine practitioners assess for gut dysbiosis, viral triggers, toxin exposure, and nutrient deficiencies that may contribute to autoimmune nerve damage. And mind-body integration practices like guided imagery, biofeedback, and EMDR can help manage pain and emotional trauma associated with chronic illness. These approaches are complementary to conventional treatments like IVIG or plasmapheresis, and should be guided by a qualitative, integrative, or functional medicine practitioner. You can explore more in-depth strategies from sources like Nicole Apelian's guide and Acebadem Health Point. So, more functional medicine solutions right here. Personalized recovery plan, 5 pillars. 5 pillars. Number 1, anti-inflammatory nutrition. Goal: to reduce systemic inflammation and support nerve repair. The daily focus is 1, eat a rainbow of vegetables, especially leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, and root vegetables. 2, include omega-3 sources, flaxseed, chia seeds, walnut, algae oil. 3, avoid gluten, dairy, avoid refined sugar, and processed foods. Avoid gluten, dairy, refined sugar, and processed foods. Number 4, add turmeric, ginger, garlic, and cinnamon regularly. And number 5, drink bone broth, and I have a non-animal based mineral broth that I do. Drink bone broth or plant-based mineral-rich broths. That's the one I do for gut and nerve support. Number 2 of the 5 pillars, nervous system regulation. The goal: calm the immune system and support neuroplasticity. The daily focus: 1, 10 to 20 minutes of breath work. Example given: box breathing or alternative nostril breathing. Number 2, gentle yoga or Tai Chi to stimulate the vagus nerve. I think it's vagus nerve. Number 3, guided meditation or sound therapy for emotional balance. Number 4, journaling or gratitude practice to reduce cortisol. The 3rd pillar, movement and physical therapy. Goal is to restore your strength, coordination, and mobility. The weekly focus is on number 1, work with a physical therapist for tailored exercises. 2, include resistance bands, balanced work, and stretching. 3, use neuro rehab tools like vibration plates or proprioceptive training if available. And number 4, track progress in a recovery journal. Number 4 of the 5 pillars, gut and immune support. Goal is to heal the lining and modulate immune system. Daily focus includes 1, take a high quality probiotic, multi-strain 25 to 50 billion CFUs. 2, include fermented foods, sauerkraut, kimchi, coconut yogurt. 3, consider glutamine or zinc carnosine for gut repair. And 4, avoid known food sensitivities. Use an elimination diet if needed. And the 5th of these 5 pillars is mental and emotional healing. The goal is to address trauma, anxiety, and emotional fatigue weekly. Weekly focus includes, number 1, try EDMR, somatic therapy, or neurofeedback. 2, connect with support groups or healing communities. 3, practice self-compassion, and celebrate small wins. Next, let's go to a list of supplements that are recommended here. 1. Alpha lipoic acid. It's an antioxidant that supports nerve regeneration. Number 2, B12, vitamin B12. Supports myelin repair and energy. And if you are a vegan or vegetarian, you need to be up on top of this because most people are going to get vitamin B12 from eating carcass food. But then we ask, where did the carcass get its vitamin B12 that you're getting the vitamin B12 from the carcass? And therefore we know it is in certain seafoods and plant foods. 3, vitamin D3 plus K2. That is a use it every day, immune modulation and bone health. Number 4, magnesium silicate or magnesium glycinate. Calms your nerves and muscles. Number 5, omega-3. That's combined EPA and DHA. Anti-inflammatory, and it is neuroprotective. Number 4, lion's mane mushroom. Promotes nerve growth factor. Curcumin with black pepper. That's your turmeric with black pepper. Reduces inflammation and pain. And next is glutamine. Repairs your gut lining and immune system support. And lastly on the list, CoQ10. Mitochondrial support and energy production. And there's one more list of these, and that's almost about the same. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to call it for today. It does talk about bear with me. Under number 2 of this next 5 keys, I think it is. It goes on and on. Number 2 is nutrition, and it does kind of repeat what we said a little bit earlier. Targeted nutrition therapy, anti-inflammatory diet, eliminate gluten, dairy, refined sugar, and processed oils, gut healing foods such as collagen-rich broths, fermented veggies, resistant starch, blood sugar stabilization, and resistant starch. There's a wonderful resistant starch that I have recently started consuming, and my feast attendees love it. Green bananas. You just boil a green banana, rinse it off, boil it until it turns dark colored, and the peel splits open. Green bananas, of course, they have a very solid peel on them. So when that peel splits open, your green bananas are done. Let them cool down. I would say make about 4 of them together. Then you plop them into your food processor and blend it up along with some vegan butter and or a little bit of almond milk, and blend it up. It has the consistency of mashed potatoes, and that is a wonderful resistant starch. It is really, really good for you. And let me hear just real quickly, I want to just put in my mind and your mind, what is the benefit of resistant starch? What is the benefit? Is the benefit of eating resistant starch? And it's coming right up. What is the benefit of eating resistant starch, such as green bananas? Resistant starch is a unique type of carbohydrate that resists digestion in the small intestine and ferments in the large intestines, offering a wide range of health benefits. Here's why it's worth adding to your diet. Here's why you want to add green bananas to your diet. health benefits include improves blood sugar control. Cha-ching slows down digestion and absorption of carbohydrates, helping stabilize blood glucose levels. Number 2, boosts gut health. It acts as a prebiotic, providing beneficial gut bacteria and enhancing microbiome diversity. Number 3, enhances insulin sensitivity, may improve how your body responds to insulin, which is a crucial for metabolic health. Number 4, supports weight management, increases feelings of fullness and reduces appetite, potentially lowering overall caloric intake. Number 5, strengthens your immune function. It's linked to lower cholesterol, reduced inflammation, and decreased risk of heart disease and colon cancer. And number 5, improves digestive comfort, ferments slowly, producing less gas than other fibers and helping prevent constipation. Where to find resistant starch? Unripe bananas, green bananas, and unripe plantains. 2, cooked and cooled rice, potatoes, and pasta. Legumes like lentils, peas, and beans. Whole grains such as oats and barley. And specialty flours like green banana or potato starch. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, green bananas. And you know something? Bananas are so inexpensive. I like bananas. I get bananas. I get them ripe and I get the green bananas. But I just love, love, love my green bananas. I love them. So eat that resistant starch. I was going through this list: key nutraceuticals and botanicals, alpha lipoic acid, acetyl L-carnitine, methylated B12, curcumin with piperine, magnesium glycinate or magnesium silicate. Is it silicate? Yeah, magnesium citrate, not silicate, citrate. Vitamin D3 plus K2, lion's mane mushroom, low dose naltrexone, LDN, and other lifestyle and mind-body practices, gentle movement, daily walking, Tai Chi or physical therapy, stress management, optimize your sleep. Adjunctive therapies include functional neuropathy, balance training and nerve stimulation, acupuncture, hyperbaric oxygen therapy. That's very important. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy promotes tissue oxygenation and healing in refractory cases. And then partner with a functional medicine practitioner for your tailored testing and dosing. Track your symptoms, adjust your supplements and nutrients and lifestyle based upon your individual response. The integrative roadmap offers you the address of to address the multifactorial roots of peripheral neuropathy, promoting lasting nerve health and quality of life. And you know something? That takes us through everything. And personally, I thought we did a very good job today on something that you probably never really even considered. But we did it. That's what we do here on LIB Radio. And we do it to the very best of our ability. We're talking about resistant key benefits of resistant starch. And so on that note, I want to thank you for participating today. Today was a good day. Today was a great day. And as a consequence of that great day, I want you to take it out into the world, share it with anybody and everybody that you possibly can. Thank you for all you've done, for being a part of LIB Radio. I'm going to ask you today, and I'm serious, no one responded yesterday. Not one book sold, not one donation to our Black August emergency fund drive. No one contributed not a dime to the diaspora, the Festac trip to Ghana. I'm going to be representing us on this trip to Ghana. If other people want to travel along with me, that's great. I welcome that. But I'm going to be representing us, the diaspora, when I travel to Africa this fall. I may have to cancel the trip. And whatever information I was going to be sharing at the FESTAC conference, just find another way to get it there, or just pretend that we can make it without cooperating, collaborating with our African brothers and sisters in Ghana, Kenya, Uganda, and in Rwanda. I don't necessarily like quitting before I even get started. I don't think any of us like that. But we got to be real. We have to be realistic about what is going on. So we're going to do the best we can. That's all we can do, is just do the best we can. You can go to the front page of libradio.com right now. Scroll down to the bottom of libradio.com, and there you will see links to support us. You can make a one-time donation, or you can make a recurring donation. We do have a Cash App available. You see it streaming underneath the image of me in the browser. You can text me. If you want to text me about your health, are you suffering from peripheral neuropathy? I will admit it had been troubling me quite a bit. It has modulated somewhat, which means the strategies that I have been using are working. And I'm going to continue to use them. And what we learned today is something to build upon. I'm going to add some new supplements to my library and keep building up my nitric oxide. I've been working a lot on that in the last month. The nutrition solutions, I'm going to integrate those to the best of my ability, such as what was the type of starch? Resistant starch. We can do it. I know that we can. We got a long way to go. We have come a long way. But yeah, we still have a long ways to go. You've been tuned into your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. I want to tell your friends to tell their friends to tune in every day from 9 a.m. West Coast time, when we bring you the latest of what we have discovered, what we've found will be beneficial to you, our listening audience. And that is what we do. And we do it regularly here on LIB Radio, on LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. Tell your friends to tell their friends that we have our own now. And we hope you love it. On your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV, livinginblack.com. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you.